Hi, I'm Lowell Martin and this is MCC Today. Get your handkerchiefs ready. On today's show we have Ginger Crawford, Lori McClain, and Flora Sumrall. You're going to learn a lot.
Find your wings. It's more than just a hashtag.
It's the power of knowledge in our state-of-the-art classrooms.
It's skills training for a competitive job market.
It's the best nursing program in the state.
It's home runs, buzzer beaters, and the thrill of victory.
And MCC walks it off.
It's not just a hashtag. How do I know? Because I found my wings.
And we are here with the wonderful Miss Ginger Crawford. How you doing?
Hey, good.
Everything going well?
Well,
I have known you for 48
Too
million
long.
years. Because you've been here longer than me, I believe, by a few years.
have.
And I've known you all the time I've been here.
and I've known you before that.
Well,
went
yes,
to
we
school
have
with you.
we have the family history together too, but yeah.
Same neighborhood.
Forever and a day. But your exact title is what?
I am an advisor now.
Okay. You're an advisor, and you used to be the night advisory. So
I
you
used
were
to be evening services coordinator and worked with faculty part-time at night. But now I'm advising students completely.
okay. So your responsibilities have shifted a little bit, and you're advising students. But you primarily deal with undecided students, people who are undecided, and
Non-degree.
not just non-degree stuff.
Right, undecided. If they're not sure if they want to do university transfer, which major, which university, I can help them kind of narrow that down. Non-degree, someone who might want to come take a computer class.
Okay.
You know, just on personal interest course.
And sometimes getting a certification in something like computers or forklift driving or something can assist you in your
That's
job.
actually through workforce, but yes, I can direct them down there. They have shorter courses. I advise for, even though it's non-degree, it's credit courses for a grade.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So if a student comes in and says, I know I want to go to school, what kind of stuff do you say to them?
Well, have a seat. You can sit here and talk to everyone with me. I mean, well, usually when they come in, they have an idea that if they don't want to be here, they probably need to be here.
Right.
Typically, if they're undecided, I'll just ask them for any number of things they're thinking about, and then take the time to show them the different steps to take to get to that point. So some students come in and just know, I want to go to Ole Miss.
Right, right.
Well, I'll suggest they go look at Ole Miss catalog, see all of their different majors offered, narrow it down to 2 or 3 or 4. You know, usually the first year, we try to keep them safe in courses. They can go towards anything, your core.
And
Everyone needs English.
Yeah, your English Comp 1,
social
sometimes
science.
Comp 2, but Comp 1, you're usually college algebra.
Usually public speaking. With
Public
college
speaking.
algebra, yes.
If
If
you're
they're
planning to go-
seriously going to transfer, yes.
Right.
If science, it just depends on the area, so, and we try to narrow that down. But,
So you try to determine if they want to go off to a 4-year university and complete a 4-year degree, or if they're really not interested, but they want to do something here because they want to get it, or parents said you need to get a job, or I want to get a job, or whatever.
If they're interested in a MCC program, a certificate program, or an Associate of Applied Science, technical training degree, vocational degree, I'm familiar with all of our programs. Granted, I'm not the advisor for health ed or for vocational technical courses, but
you
I
know
work
enough
closely
to
with
kind
them
of-
to get them started and eventually introduce them to the advisor specific to those places.
I wonder how many students you have come in that were like I was, because I literally, when I came here, knew nothing. I had no one in my family had ever been to college, didn't know, and they thought I was crazy for thinking about going to college. And I literally kind of walked in and didn't have a clue.
Wow.
And I will say this, because I've watched you before with this, you are one of the best hand holders and that I have ever seen.
Probably because I stayed in college so long myself.
You're like, you have vast experience with this.
Yes, and every time I went for a different degree, I was like, which building do I go to? Where am I at? But, so yeah, I have to remind myself every day to remember those days.
And
Not just with the students, but with the parents, they're...
Well, we're part of this, so sometimes we know what to call things, and we know where to go.
It gets rote with us. It gets normal.
But when you
Over
don't
and
know
over.
enough to even ask a question,
Right.
and that's what we deal with sometimes.
Yes.
And you are one of the best people I know
Well, thank you.
to deal with that. And I've seen her. We come in and a student just literally, and she'll sit down. Well, let's think about this, or let's think about this.
Are you able to leave Meridian?
Yeah.
If you're not able to leave Meridian, there's only certain universities you would look at. A lot of times students will come in and they'll say, I just need a job. But I'm like, well, you also want to go to work and do something you like to do every day. Otherwise, you'll be back here years later going,
That wasn't
I don't
it.
want to do this. I want to go back for what I wanted to go for. Adults, that's what they'll do. I've been doing this for years and I don't want to do it anymore.
How many students, I'm just thinking generally, come in and are undecided? How many do you think we have that are undecided?
Even the ones who think they know what they're going into, I would say, end up changing their majors. I mean, I'd say most people. That
A lot of times I find
whether
that
they know it or not.
when you ask them at the beginning, when they first come in and they're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then sometimes they'll get into that and go,
Yes.
no.
Or they'll take the first set of courses and realize anatomy's not for me. I probably should not go into health.
I was one of them.
Well,
I was like, when they're like, go into something in healthcare, and then I determined that I really didn't like blood.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Just no, not going to
I have
happen.
to rethink it. It's a journey.
I did know that I wanted to get a 4-year degree, but that was the only knowledge I had.
And that's a good point, too. I have students all the time that are still not decided, sometimes in their second year here, and are concerned. And I'm like, continue to go.
Education will never hurt you. Education will never hurt you.
I had a friend who had a bachelor's degree in psychology, came back home, worked a little bit in an area that didn't pay very well because she didn't have a master's.
Right.
Got a job in a finance company as the assistant manager. Knew nothing about finance. But her degree and her grades, they realized she could handle learning quickly. And she worked there for quite some time before she went back for higher degrees.
And I think a lot of employers want to at least see that you have completed
Correct,
something.
yes.
And you are able to follow directions and you're able to communicate, whether it be written, spoken, you're able to do that. If someone needs to get in touch with you or would like to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
You can give me a call at 601-484-8862 or email gcrawfor@meridiancc.edu. And let me mention with the non-degree, we have Real Estate 1 and 2 that's offered Tuesday and Thursday nights. MCC doesn't supply the licensings, that's through the Mississippi Real Estate Commission, but our instructors, Terry Winstead and Bob Pigford, welcome calls about their courses. We have a 2-for-1 scholarship for part-time students. for those students not taking 15 or more credit hours, whose tuition is not covered by another type of aid, as long as you're not on financial aid default with federal loans or
Then you can take advantage
yes,
of that.
and it's a sheet that you get with an advisor, a scholarship form. You choose a class off the form, real estate's on there. Your second class can be online day or night, but the courses on the tuition-free list are typically some days and nights.
Okay.
But real estate's on there, and it's a useful one for students coming in, not seeking a degree here,
Right.
but trying to get certified or licensed.
Well, listen, thank you so much for being here. I
You're
appreciate
welcome. Thank you. Always
Well-
good to see you.
it. You as well. We'll be right back.
Meridian Community College. For more than 75 years, we've helped students soar. Establishing the first tuition guarantee program in Mississippi, we put our students first while creating pathways into the workforce and offering a seamless transition to a 4-year degree. Now is the time to find your purpose and register today, because those who move forward never get left behind. MCC, find your wings.
And we are here with Miss Lori McClain. And let me just say, the world is obviously ending, because I never thought that I would get you on the show.
I'm here.
I appreciate it. Now, you're wearing your mask. You're having some sinus issues, I believe.
Yes.
As you always at this time of year have
Yes.
sinus issues.
Yes.
Lori and I started at Meridian Community College at exactly the same time, same day, same department. You were in my department at that time because
Yes.
you were teaching. What were you teaching?
Reading and study skills.
Reading and study skills, and I was doing the same, I believe.
Yes.
And 48 million years ago,
Before dinosaurs. Yes.
before dinosaurs, one of my favorite people. But then, how many years ago you decided to become an advisor?
After I taught reading and study skills, like I said, for 3 years.
Okay.
One of my students left my classroom that day and got killed, and I just never wanted to do it anymore.
Right.
So I started advising. So I've been advising since 2000.
Okay. So a good 22 years.
Yes, wonderful.
Now, what is your exact title? You're advisor for what?
I am the academic advisor for university transfer.
Okay,
And that's
now-
a lot under that umbrella. University transfer majors, honors college. I see those students when they need something, international,
Okay.
athletes, just whoever needs help.
Okay. And I will say this about all of advising and retention, all that area. You
Right.
know, if you need help, if a student comes in there and needs help, one of y'all is going to help them. It might not be your particular
Right.
area,
Right.
but one of y'all is going to help
We're
them.
going to help them, and if we don't know the answer, we're going to find somebody who does to get them there.
Now, does a student, when they come to you, do they normally say, well, hey, I want to go here 2 years, and then I plan to go to, and do they already know the school they want to go to?
No.
No. Okay. Do they already know what they want to do here?
Some of them do because it's a family tradition. All
Okay.
of my family went to Ole Miss. All of my family went to Mississippi State. Some of them do. Some of them come
Okay.
in with a lot of high expectations, and they don't meet their goal. But we can help them get to a goal
Sure.
to
Sure.
get to where they want to be. Everybody doesn't start at the same level. So,
Sure. And I think a lot of times once you get here and you say, I want to do this, and then you start getting into that a little bit and you're like, you know, maybe that's not exactly what I want to do.
that's exactly what happens. And
You
it's
know-
okay.
And that's perfectly okay. There are many other paths
Absolutely.
for them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you had a lot to learn with this university transfer stuff because they have to do the 2 years here, and then if they're going, well, somewhere in state, I bet it wouldn't be as bad knowing what kind of stuff they need to do as going out of state.
Yes, I oversee 255 majors.
Okay.
So
That's not a lot.
A lot
That's-
of them, basically English, math, history, sciences, that type of thing. You kind of know. You know, when they start getting specific majors, then you have to look and double check. But the math tool is probably the best thing they could ever use for themselves and their parents.
Okay, and what is that?
The math tool is a thing. I call it a thing, but it's online where they can go in and research their major, see what kind of classes they have to have for that major, what kind of maths,
Okay.
What school offers that particular major, that type of thing.
And typically, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you will, is in the first 2 years, the time that they're here, there's like generic classes that they can take that will pretty much go anywhere, and they're good for a lot of majors.
Yes,
Okay,
they're going to have that core curriculum is what it's called.
And so you'll have to have like 8 hours of a lab science, or 6 hours of English.
Right.
Sometimes you'll have to have some literature, some history, some fine arts, some math.
Yes.
Do students ever come to you and say, I don't understand, I'm going into this, I don't understand why I need to take this class?
First thing I say, if you want to graduate from here, you have to have that class. Secondly, you can't go anywhere in this state without college algebra.
Right.
They're going to want that. Because schools say that if you're going to transfer into their school, like if in one year, you got to have Comp 1 and 2, you got to have a fine arts, 2 humanities, 2 social behavioral science, 2 sciences with lab, and college algebra. There's no way around it.
And I tell students this all the time. It's like when they ask me, I don't understand why I have to take Comp 1 and Comp 2. And I'm like, look, at some point you're going to have to write something.
Exactly.
Do you want to sound like an idiot?
Right.
And what we do, all of this is your basic level of knowledge.
Right.
So that you can build on from there. But this is the place you have to have that is the basic.
It's a process.
And I used to have this a lot where students would say, I don't understand why I have to take a speech class.
Yes.
And how would you answer that question? Because I think it's very important.
Well, let me give you an example. In elementary ed at Mississippi State, it was required then.
Okay.
So now it's not required.
Okay.
And then I have students that are really shy and really introverted, and they don't want to talk. Well, how are you going to teach kids?
Right. And it also, I think it at some point getting up in front of people and facing a fear, whether it be of writing an essay, whether it be of speaking in front of others, whether it be math, facing that fear. And I also think it helps us come together as a community, because at least, and I've known that I can bond over, okay, I had to take speech.
Right.
And they'll say, yes, I did too.
I
and
had
this
speech,
problem.
and I had this teacher, and she was wonderful, and I learned so much. I didn't think I could do it, but I made it.
Well, now, for anyone who would like to get in touch with you, advising-wise, how do they go about doing it?
They can call me at 601-481-1373.
Okay.
My email, McClain, LMCCLAIN, at meridiancc.edu.
And you will direct them where they need to be directed.
Absolutely.
And you will help them as they need to be.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for being on the
Thank
show.
you for having me, buddy.
We will be right back.
Not essential. Never let anyone tell you that again. Never doubt your abilities to make a difference. How do I know this about you? Because I'm a teacher. I am the one who will push you harder and farther than you could have ever imagined. Teach you things that you never thought possible. And if you will give me 100%, then I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and together we will change your future. MCC, find your wings.
We are here with the wonderful Miss Flora Sumrall. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
You know, we're here. I'm doing very, very...
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Now, you are head program coordinator and lead instructor, or just program coordinator? But you're also instructing.
It's just that one position, program coordinator and instructor.
Okay, what is the name of the program?
Business Office Management Technology, and also we have accounting technology under there.
Okay, so a person who takes this program or is interested in this program, okay, what kind of things will they be doing?
In the program, we'll learn all the software, the proper way to do all of that.
Proper way?
The proper way.
Okay.
You can do it, but the proper way to do that. And we have an externship before they're finished, which means I'll place them in a job site, or they will find one of their own, and they'll work there for that semester. And that is enough time to serve as experience as well. And they'll learn the workforce in their field.
Okay. What type of jobs does this degree help them with?
I'm so glad you asked. I even looked it up.
Oh my goodness.
And I was amazed. I actually started to consider doing my resume. But we looked at first line supervisors of office and administrative support workers, and it's so many, I'm not going to call them all out. Billing and accounting collectors, we have billing and posting clerks, we have bookkeeping, accounting and auditing clerks, payroll and timekeeping clerks for that accounting part, procurement clerks, we have financial clerks all over, court, municipal and licensed clerks, because we have several students who actually work in the city and the county. I have some students there, past students. Customer service reps, loan interviewers and clerks. It's just so many. And just, we have students are interested. They can find out the average salary, the entry salary, and also the experience salary. Found that on the Mississippi curriculum site.
Okay.
So it's just like 3 pages of
possible jobs. Okay, excellent. Now this is a 2-year program,
It's
correct?
a 2-year program.
Okay, and how many new students do you accept each fall?
Each fall I will take, how many people are in Lauderdale County? I take all who come.
All who come, but now you can only accept, how many students per semester, or per year in your program?
There's no limit. It's just a limit of how many can be in one class. For instance, if we have, let's say if we have 30 students and my seating is like 15 to 20, then we'll break that into 2 classes.
Okay.
So we have no limit of how many people we can accept.
Okay, now do you only accept new students in the fall, or do you also accept new students in the spring?
We rather take them in the fall, but of course the spring, whenever they come, it's just that if they come in the spring, it'll be some classes that they can't take from the fall, and they have to wait till fall to take those.
Okay. Now, does anyone have to have any kind of prerequisites to get into your program?
Well, there's not necessarily any prereqs, but there's like the AccuPlacer or the ACT scores, and there's some things on the site. Let me see if I have them right here that we ask of students here prior to. See, if you hadn't asked me, I would have all that information.
That's why I did.
Here it is. I know. I have it. We have the ACT composite score right now is 17. We're looking at that.
Okay.
AccuPlacer, and for reading in our class, in our program, is math as well, or they can earn a C or above in intermediate English. If they've completed 15 semester hours of program general ed, then So it's not a big prereq.
No.
Right.
So if they've got the ACT or AccuPlacer scores, they can just go right in.
Yes.
But if not, there are other ways that they can get in as well.
Like taking the
if they want to.
AccuPlacer.
Okay. And taking the 15 hours, 15 credit
or
hours.
These are or.
Or,
Or
okay.
the other one. And so generally, we haven't turned any away.
Okay. Now, it is a 2-year degree, but can students go further if they choose? Could they get a bachelor's degree, or?
They can, because now we have Mississippi State. UWA has always taken, because when I left this program, I actually was in the medical part of this program. I went to UWA and got my bachelor's, and then Mississippi State and started on my master's. But now we have not only UWA, we have Mississippi State, we have Jackson State, and I'm not sure, I won't try to plug in anymore, but I know it's more that are now accepting these courses.
Okay, excellent. And generally speaking, are the salaries pretty good when they finish? You said that there's the website you can look at.
It depends on where you're going.
Okay.
I tell students who you're working for.
Okay.
And it also depends on whether or not you have had some experience. That's why we have the externship, because so many times students were, I feel, overly qualified for the jobs, but then they said, well, we'd like someone, not have to like someone with experience. And so now when they see that externship, because you've worked like 4 semesters, not the semesters, 4 months,
right.
Almost 4 months in that job, and they give you an evaluation and all that. And so we usually don't have that much of a problem. Like right now, I actually have people who are calling with positions, and I don't have the students to fill them.
Then this is a good problem to have.
It is a great problem to have.
However, we want to help as many people as we can.
Right.
And so if someone calls and says, I need people, we'd love to have the people,
Right.
for them to, are available for them. So if a student is sitting at home and I want to go into something, but I don't know what to go into, okay? Make a pitch for your program.
We want you. But and I say that because not only under the business office technology, we have 3 pathways.
Mm-hmm.
We have the medical office management, which people call coding, billing and coding in the medical facility. We have now, which is our newest one, which is accounting technology. We've only had 2 graduates and they are already working. I have people calling for accountants, but entry-level accountants, we don't have them because they're already working. And then business office management. It's a great field. I say that for myself, and I learned something new finding out all the different jobs and the salaries that you're eligible for, because some people say, oh, well, that's just going secretarial school. And I'm looking at these salaries, and I will let you look at one right there. And I'm saying, just going down here, we have one here. You're eligible for postal service mail carriers, which are making 62. That's their experience, 62. And you start out at, this here entry level is starting out like 40.
Okay.
Postal clerks, 57,000.
Well, first off, I want to just tell you how much I love this woman. I love this woman. I love your family. I've taught you. I've taught your family.
Yes.
But did you ever think, when you started here a million years ago, it wasn't a million, it was 500,000, but a few years ago, that you would be in charge of this program and be where you are? Did it ever occur to you when you first started when you came back to Meridian Community College, that you would end up working here and end up
No, when I actually started taking your classes, I was working a full-time job, and I was getting off work at like 5 o'clock, and then I would rush here and go, and I was sick at the time. No, I actually had no idea the factory was going to close. I just thought I'd just, get me some hours in, and so I wouldn't lose a little bit what I had. But even when I came and went through the program, no idea whatsoever I would ever be teaching. I've only wanted to teach since I was maybe 4 or 5, so that was not something I would be able to do. And so I say that to students, never say what you can't do or what you would never do. If it's out there for you, just go for it as hard as you can. And I'm amazed to be here, and I love it.
And life is just so full of surprises.
It is, all the time. See, I started with you.
I'm telling you, she did. Listen, I want to thank you for being here today. I want to have you on again because I know how much you love being on camera.
Yeah, right.
But thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Since 1996, the MCC Foundation Tuition Guarantee Program has provided students an opportunity to find their potential. Thousands of students have benefited from the program. Over $6 million have been invested in the students who learn and live right here in our community. This program is funded by individuals and businesses who believe in our students, our families, and the economic impact of an education at Meridian Community College. Now is your chance to offer support. Give today at meridiancc.edu/give.
On behalf of executive producer Matt Milner, media specialist Josh Taylor, and me, thank you for watching. Hope you learned a little bit, and we'll see you next week.